They are the ultimate cosmic threat, completely invisible, totally unstoppable, and just lurking in the dark. Think about this for a second. What if a rogue black hole entered our solar system, not a million years from now, but right now, today?
Well, Earth and absolutely everything on it would be swallowed instantly. I mean, if a black hole just the size of a single city suddenly replaced our planet's core, our entire world would just vanish into the dark without a trace. Today, in this explainer, we are staring directly into the abyss to understand the absolute most terrifying, fascinating, and destructive objects in the known universe. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Defining the monster. What is a black hole? Okay, so to really wrap our heads around the sheer terror of a black hole, we have to strip away all the science fiction. At its most basic level, it's a region of space where gravity has become so unbelievably overwhelming that literally nothing escapes. The event horizon is that absolute boundary. Think of it as a cosmic trapdoor in the fabric of reality. You cross this line, you belong to the black hole forever. There is zero coming back.
But how does a monster like this actually come to exist? Well, it starts with the violent, chaotic death of a massive star. We're talking one at least 20 times heavier than our own sun. When it finally runs out of its nuclear fuel, it just can't support its own immense weight anymore. The core completely caves in on itself. Gravity entirely takes over, crushing all that star matter down to an unimaginably tiny point. We call that a singularity.
To truly grasp the mind-bending density of a singularity, I want you to picture the entire Himalayan mountain range. Every single peak, every rock, every ounce of snow. Got it? Now imagine gravity crushing all of that massive weight down until it fits into the size of one single tiny pebble. That is gravity's raw power, completely unchecked. It's almost hard to even picture, right?
Section 2, falling into the abyss, crossing the threshold.
So we know what they are, but let's imagine just for a second what would happen if you fell directly into one. If you drifted feet first toward a standard stellar black hole, you're not going to gracefully float inside. The gravitational pull on your feet will be violently stronger than the pull on your head. These are called extreme tidal forces. Space itself isn't just pulling you, it's pulling you unevenly. And this uneven pull leads to a seriously gruesome physical reality. As the brilliant physicist Stephen Hawking so perfectly described it, you would be stretched like spaghetti. The immense gravity would literally pull you apart, separating your bones, tearing your muscles, and eventually stretching your very molecules into a thin, single-file stream of matter. Astrophysicists actually call this spaghettification. Yep, that's the real scientific term. It is, without a doubt, the absolute most terrifying way to go. But the horror isn't just physical. A black hole literally warps reality itself through something called time dilation. See, because massive objects stretch the fabric of space-time, time actually passes slower the closer you get to one. To an outside observer watching your doomed descent, you wouldn't just vanish. As you hit that event horizon, you would appear to slow down infinitely, freezing in place and fading to red, suspended there for eternity, even as you're physically destroyed. And once you actually cross inside that event horizon, everything we know just stops. The known laws of physics are completely obliterated. Time freezes and gravity becomes infinite right at the singularity. We literally cannot comprehend the interior of a black hole because the math and the science we use to understand our universe simply shatter at the door.
Section 3, supermassive and rogue monsters, the cosmic titans.
So far, we've only been talking about stellar black holes, the corpses of dead stars. But honestly, those are just the appetizers. Hanging out in the center of the M87 galaxy, there is a supermassive black hole that weighs 7 billion times the mass of our sun. 7 billion. To put that staggering scale into perspective, if a normal star-sized black hole were roughly the size of a standard apple, a supermassive black hole would be the size of the Great Pyramid of Giza. These are the true titans of the cosmos, so incredibly massive that their gravity anchors entire galaxies in place, including our very own Milky Way. But here's the really scary part. They don't all just sit politely in the centers of galaxies. Perhaps the absolute most unnerving objects in the universe are rogue black holes. These are roaming beasts containing millions of solar masses that wander freely and violently through the cosmos like invisible ghosts. When galaxies collide, they can actually be slingshotted right out into open space. As they travel, their immense gravity violently disrupts the gas and stars around them. But crazily enough, they can also act as cosmic creators, leaving brilliant contrails of newborn stars in their wake.
Section 4. The universe's final survivors. The deep future.
Let's fast forward the timeline of the cosmos for a minute, way past the death of Earth, deep into the distant future, long after every single star has burned out. When the universe goes completely dark, black holes will be the very last things left. But, surprise, they aren't entirely eternal. It'll take 10 to the 100th power, that is a 1 with 100 zeros after it, for the most massive black holes to eventually die out. But how exactly does a black hole die? Well, they slowly leak energy back into the void through a process called Hawking radiation. Over trillions upon trillions of years, they will slowly evaporate, getting smaller and smaller, until they vanish completely in a final burst of energy. They truly are the universe's final, lonely survivors. But right before the end of time, there is this wild glimmer of hope. Many black holes spin, and as they do, they literally drag the fabric of space-time around with them. This creates a warped, kind of tornado-like zone just outside the event horizon called the ergosphere. It's a region totally packed with vast amounts of kinetic energy. And this unlocks a totally mind-blowing concept for survival known as the Penrose process. If a highly advanced civilization wanted to survive the end of the universe, they could theoretically harvest a spinning black hole for energy. Here's how it works. You fly an object into the ergosphere, split it in two, and drop one half into the black hole, giving it negative energy. The other half shoots back out, escaping with way more energy than it went in with. You're basically stealing rotational momentum from the monster, turning the most destructive force in physics into the ultimate cosmic battery. How insane is that? Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought. A black hole is the universe's ultimate destroyer, shredding stars and freezing time itself. Yet, it might also be the very key to surviving the end of all things. So I have to ask, would you risk flying into the ergosphere, dancing on the absolute edge of the event horizon, just to harvest that energy and power the future? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember, keep looking up.